Hey guys, how's it going? Happy Homebrew Wednesday. How you doing? I hope you're good, having a good week. And got a few things coming up for you this episode of Homebrew Wednesday here. I'm going to taste some sour beer. And I finally opened one of those bottles of sour beer and see what's going on, what we've got. Okay, with that. I'm going to talk a little bit about Beersmith, and just a little bit about what I'm doing with that. And then there's going to be some updates on what's coming up and what I'm brewing and what's going on and that kind of thing too. So hope you enjoy this episode of Homebrew Wednesday. You may have noticed that last week I didn't put the bumper on the beginning of it. You know, the one, the music little clip at the beginning of the Homebrew Wednesday with the words and whatnot. I didn't do that last week and nobody complained. Nobody said a word. So I'm not going to bother with that anymore because it's an extra step, and if it doesn't matter to you guys, I mean, you can comment down below if you like. If you want me to put it back, I'll put it back. But it doesn't. If it doesn't matter to anybody, if it's a waste of your time, because you know you don't need to see that at the beginning of every single Homebrew Wednesday video that I do, that I won't use it. So it's completely up to you if you want it there or not. Okay. Probably about 2 months ago, I was sent some ingredients from Dan ABA, is his name, or Arrogant Bastard Ale in the chat room and my live broadcast. And he sent me some ingredients to make a beer that I probably would never, ever have made on my own because I didn't trust the name. It's a sour beer. Who wants to drink a sour beer? You think of a beer that's gone rancid, or it tastes funny. It doesn't have a good flavor to it. That's what you think of when you think of sour beer. Well, that's until you actually have tried one. That's probably what you're going to think. But sour beers are very, very popular. And I'm going to put a link down below to the video of me making this beer. I did it on Homebrew Wednesday. I think it's about 2 months ago. So this beer is 2 months old. And I'm gonna open it. I've got 3 more left, which I'm gonna leave to age for a while. But this is carbonated. Okay, this is a plastic bottle. It's as hard as a rock. It's definitely carbonated, and we're gonna give this a shot. Okay? So the only time I've tasted this before now is when I've bottled it, which it was flat, it was full of yeast, and it wasn't, really decent, beer. So here's, this is 2 weeks in the bottle, okay? 2 weeks in the bottle and about a month and a half in the fermenter. And it's a 1 gallon batch that I did. So without further ado, I can't wait to taste this, to tell you the truth. This is why I'm doing it so early in the game, because he's told me to wait and let's see these things age. But we're gonna give these a whirl right now. I got one of my favorite beer glasses. Okay, let's give this a pour. I'm not expecting huge head retention or anything like that. Okay. And it's not going to be clear. Maybe we can go a little more aggressive on that just to see what we can get. But really and there's a little bit left in there which we'll take care of a little bit later on. Okay. So that's what we've got. Now, I don't know whether sour beers are supposed to have head retention or whatnot. This was just a basic experiment. We didn't really add anything to it that was supposed to promote, head retention or lacing or anything like that. It's just a basic sour beer that was, laced with a bacteria called lactobacillus and to make it sour. And so there it is. It looks pretty nice. It's got quite a character to it. I'm seeing a nice golden color, sort of a brass color to it. You're not going to get much out of this if I do that, because you're going to see sort of a burn-in on the CMOS sensor of the camera. But you can kind of get an idea of the color of that. And it's not going to be clear. I don't expect it to be clear. Let's give it a nose. It definitely reminds me of like pickles, like sour pickles. But it doesn't taste infected, or it doesn't taste like a beer you've left out overnight or something like that. It's not like that. It's a different type of sour. It's like sauerkraut. You ever had sauerkraut? It's kind of along those lines. I'm getting those things from it. So let's give it a try. Let's give it a try. Cheers to you, Dan. Thank you, sir. Oh, jeez. He said it would get more sour over time. Wow. Okay, I've readjusted my seatbelt and I'm strapped in and I'm ready to go for another one. Let's try this again. It's good. I'm enjoying that. It's very daring. It's kind of got a bitter taste to it, and definitely reminiscent to a sour pickle. If you buy, eat sour pickles in Canada, we get Strubs. They're called Strubs. It's a brand of pickle that we can get, and they're sour. They're not put in vinegar. They're actually fermented in some sort of a brine, and that's what you get when you get the jar of pickles, and they're quite sour, and they're very savory, and I love them. I do, and so this is kind of right up my alley. Let's see what else we can get from it. Excuse me. It's like a gourmet beer. It's like a delicatessa. It's like it's like something that a lot of people wouldn't drink it, normally on a regular basis, but as a thing that you would try, I find it very interesting. Very, very interesting. The flavors are just, it's just so pungent, and it's not bad. It's not like an infected beer. I think we've all had that extract, twang, or that infected flavor to a beer here and there. Getting drinking it and going, something's wrong. It's got that weird taste to it. No, this is not what this is. This is a sour beer. It's meant to taste like it does. And this is not a mistake. This is actually, from what I'm gathering, actually a very authentic sour beer taste, from what I can gather. And I have to tell you that I really like it. I really do, because I love things like that. I love pickles. I love sauerkraut. I love sour things and sweet things and savory things, and I'm a big flavor person myself. And this, although it doesn't look that great, and I don't know whether there's something we can do to it to improve the appearance of it in the future. If I make any more of this, we can add some something else to it, another grain or whatever. But it really is a very extravagant tasting beer. And I actually really, really like it quite a bit. It's very interesting. Let's put it that way. It almost tastes like it has orange peel in it. Like an orange taste to it. It's tart. It's tart. Is what it is. It's got the tartness to it. I can't explain it any better than that. You guys are going to have to go out and get yourselves a sour beer if you want to find out what this tastes like. But there's definitely an orange peel, orange zest flavor to this. Now I'm getting that real strong now after this, fourth or fifth swig of this. It's not very strong as far as the alcohol. Apparently it's only about 3.5 to 4%. Bitter, a little bit sour, a little bit tart, like an orange peel. That's how I can describe that. Thanks, Dan, man. I'm enjoying these. I'm going to let the other ones sit for another month or two. And I'll probably refrigerate them for several days before I try. Because one of the reasons why this might look a little bit unexciting is because I just threw it in the freezer like for an hour or so and then brought it out and poured it. If you put them in the fridge, let them age in there for a while, the carbon dioxide that's trapped in the top is going to acclimate back into the beer. You're going to get a little bit of carbonation and head retention. You can tell it's carbonated because I'm burping. It's not flat the way it looks. So it's a winner for me. I would drink this again. I would make this again. It's very interesting and something very a conversation piece, if you will, among beer drinkers. Hey, try this and see what you think. Give this a whirl, see what you think of that, and somebody's going to go, I don't like it, or I do, or whatever. No, I love it. I think it's fantastic. And as a lover of sour pickles and sour kraut and sour things and different kinds of food like that, this is just, it fits right in with me. So cheers, Dan. Cheers to you guys too. Give it a whirl. Look up sour beers. Try one yourself. See what happens. Do a small batch, because you never know. You might not like it, but I do. Oh. It's only going to get better, apparently, or more sour as time goes on. So we'll leave those other bottles up there. I recently have received from some very kind viewers ingredients. I've got dry malt extract, I've got grains, I've got hops. You saw in past Homebrew Wednesday videos some of the things that I've received, and I've got quite an inventory of stuff. So what I decided to do was build like a database, because I think once you get a certain amount of ingredients in your brewing dungeon, you need to know what you've got. And, when you're making beer, you need to say, hey, I've got this, I've got that, I've got that, And generally with me, it's all over the place. There's a box of stuff down there and a shelf over here with some things, and there's stuff in the fridge and there's things in the freezer upstairs. And it's hard to know what you've got. So I want to encourage all you guys, if you do have a few things on hand, like grains, hops, malt extract, sugars, whatever, make yourself, if you've got a few of them, make yourself a little database, even if it's a spreadsheet or a list. It doesn't matter, and that way you know what you've got, and you can, when you're brewing, you can say, oh, what I've got some Munich malt, I've got some two-row, I've got some crystal this, and I've got some chocolate that, I've got, here's the yeasts I have, and then you can build a recipe from that. I found myself in the past repeatedly going and rummaging through my boxes and shelves of ingredients to see what the hell I've got. And it's really not, if you're a procrastinator like I am, it's not a good way to brew, because you will not make beer if you have to go through any more efforts than need be. So making a database is a good idea. Now, I have Beersmith on my computer, Beersmith 2. I know there's other programs out there, and there's online programs you can use, and Brewer's Friend and things like that, and you have to make a choice when you're deciding which program you're going to use. And so I landed on Beersmith, and I'm happy with it. I don't want to say that it's complicated. I don't want to say that it's hard to get around in the program, Beersmith. What I would say is that it's very, very complete. It has everything. And you just need to spend a little bit of time in there finding things and finding where stuff is. And there's tutorials on YouTube how to use Beersmith. Now, I didn't get it for free. I bought it. It was I bought it just like everybody else. And so I'm not doing this because they gave me something for free. I'm just telling you that's what I use, Beersmith. Now, even if you don't brew all grain beer, it's still a good idea to have Beersmith, because you can put together partial extracts and mini mash beers. You get your gravities and your IBUs and whatnot, and dial things in, and then brew your beer. Even if it's from a beer kit, when you're adding hops and grains to it, it's a great idea. And we have on the 17 Crew website, I'll put a link down below, hopefully if it's still there on the forum, link to a thing that you can actually insert into Beersmith that will allow you to brew the Cooper's kits and add things to them and have actually the numbers all come out, properly, so you can get your IBUs and your bitterness and your color and all that stuff coming up in Beersmith, so you can construct a beer, even with a Cooper's kit. So I've got that. I'll try to put it down below if it's still there. I hope it is. But I think that the program is it's there's so much in it that at first it looks overwhelming, and this is what I found. You really have to watch the tutorials and get accustomed to it, fool around with it, mess with it, and learn about it, and eventually it will become a great tool for you to use, as well as the other brewing softwares that are out there as well. Now, I ended up actually getting where did I put it? Beersmith for the iPad as well. Let me flip the switch over here. There. So I've got it for this. It was $8. I figured, I don't know if you guys can see that. Maybe you can. But I figured, if I've got it on my computer, I may as well have it on here. And this is pretty cool, too. You can actually transfer the recipes from your computer when you construct them onto your mobile device, and then you can bring this with you into your brewing area, and you got like a timers in there, and all the instructions and steps are there for you, and it's pretty cool. So if you're looking to get into trying to construct recipes, then that's one program that you can check out is Beersmith, and that's what I use. There's other ones out there too, so I'm not trying to corner any particular market. I'm just telling you what I've decided to use, because that's what the choice I made. As far as I love these bottles because the sediment sticks to the bottom. It settles down in those little pivots there. It doesn't come out, and so that's a good thing. Cheers. How so very interesting that is. Very tart. Very, very interesting, and I'm enjoying it. My hope is that I can brew this again and actually get a little more, head retention and whatnot. But as an experiment, it's a success. Basically, it definitely is. And even still, it's not even 4%. It's still getting me hammered. I did have a glass of wine before this video too, so I've had it a little bit before this. But so coming up, we have things I need to do. All right, I got some Brew Max. Pat Max brew caps. Pat Max brew caps that I still have to utilize and make a hard apple cider with, and show you guys how easy it is to make carbonated hard apple cider in a 2-liter pop bottle with these caps. And I'm still going to do that. I'm still going to do it. I promise. I've got apple juice sitting over there that's just sitting there. And so I got to do that. And what I want to do is brew that up ahead of time so that when I do the video, I have that to show you as a finished product. Okay? And that's what I'm going to do there. I also have other things that have been sent to me. I've got a small batch of stout beer to make that was sent to me. The ingredients were sent. I'm going to do that. I have also a pumpkin beer that I'm also going to be, actually probably going to be one of my next brews. If not next, the one after that. And I'll set up a camera and I'll point down and I'll show you what I'm doing and see how we make that. We'll do it exactly the way he recommended me to do that one. So, and I've got all the ingredients there. As far as my the database that I've put together, or I'm in the middle of putting together for Beersmith with all my stuff, I'm eventually going to publicize that. Once I get all the hops and the yeasts in there, I'll do a screen cap and I'll put it on my website, craigfaraway.com. Just so that you can see what I've got. Because you know what? I wouldn't mind some suggestions of some recipes I could do based on these ingredients. I got to use these up. I can't let these things go bad or stale. So I need to brew. I need to brew some stuff up, and I'll show you what I've got, and I will accept suggestions as to, okay, you got this, you got that, you got this. Here's what you can do with this, and of course if I need something extra, I go get it or order it from somewhere, and that would be awesome. If I choose, your recipe, I'll brew it online. I'll brew it on YouTube, on CraigTube channel. And I'll mention your name and whatnot, and we'll see what happens. So look for that. I'll let you know when that gets posted. It won't be right after this video. Probably within the next few days, maybe in the next week or so. Just keep checking craigfaraway.com, and there'll be a link there somewhere for the inventory that I have of stuff. I've got quite a bit of stuff. And I can't thank, enough. I can't thank the people enough for sending me the things. And I'm going to have a lot of fun brewing these beers. Whatever it is I could make out of this stuff. It's going to be a lot of fun. Okay? I got tons of chocolate malt. I'll tell you that right off the bat. So it looks like it's going to be quite a few CraigTube porters and stouts, maybe, possibly made. And I'd love to do an all-grain stout, but the all-grain takes so long. But we'll see. Okay? So that's what's coming up. As far as Craig's Kitchen goes, absolutely, I'm going to do more Craig's Kitchens. Just give me time, okay? I got to set things up. I got to work stuff out and get recipes ready so I can do it. Those things are harder than you think. When you're cooking in the kitchen, you just cook and you arbitrarily bring stuff out and look for things and drag stuff out of the cupboards. When you do a video on cooking, you got to have everything set up. You practically have to have made that recipe beforehand and have everything that you need ready. So when you do that video, you're ready to go. And you've got stuff at your, at arm's length that you can, you're going to do that recipe with. So it takes time for me to plan these things, and I should probably work harder on that, but I plan to. But yes, there are more Craig's Kitchens coming up. 17crew.com is a great place to go for your brewing needs and your questions and your answers. You don't even have to post in there. Just go through and read the questions and posts and answers that have been put in there. It's a great education for you. And if you do have a question, I have questions. I'm going to be posting questions in there too myself, because I have questions about a few things. And there are some amazing brewers that are in there that will answer your questions. A guy messaged me recently, and he said, I went into the 17 Crew forum, and I asked a question about Mr. Beer kit. And he said, I thought I was going to get, teased and whatnot. Well, I don't know what goes on in other forums, but in this forum, in our forum, the 17 Crew forum, that will not happen. It doesn't matter what you're brewing, how you're brewing, you will always be accepted, and you will never be teased or looked down upon or chastised for your method of brewing, even if it's a Mr. Beer kit. I've done Mr. Beer. It was fine. It made great beer. It was fine. It worked, So it's always an easy way to make beer. And 17crew.com. I'm in there. I'm an administrator in there. And so I'd love to see you come by and make an account. It's free, no strings attached. And that's where you can ask your questions. Right there. You'll get all the answers to all the questions you could ever dream of in our forum at 17crew.com. Guys, thanks for watching. I hope to see you on my live broadcast this Friday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. vonlive.tv/CraigTube. Hope to see you there. Hope you request some songs. Got lots of vinyl back here. Lots of great stuff. We take Skype calls and we have a great time. It's all night radio, commercial free, and you are going to love it. So please join us there, and I hope to see you. Thank you for watching this Homebrew Wednesday episode. Cheers to you. Let's take another sip of my sour beer. It kind of tastes like carbonated orange juice. It's so funny. It's very good. It's very good. We'll see how this, evolutionizes, if that's a word, over time. And we'll see what happens. Cheers, guys. 17.